Hi, my name is Cheryl Tilley. I'm the Manager of Library Services for the Region of Waterloo Library, and I'm here to talk to you today about OBOC, One Book, One Community.
This year, One Book, One Community is celebrating its 20th year of bringing the region of Waterloo together. If you'd like to join the biggest book club that includes all of our cities and townships, pick up a copy from your local library or download your copy today.
The One Book, One Community book this year, which is by Peter Mansbridge. And I've started the book, and I'm about 2 or 3 stories in, and it's quite interesting.
So why is OBOC important to me? I've got to tell you, it's kind of wrapped up in some pretty special memories. What is so fascinating and important and special about OBOC is that it brings in authors. That's one of the requirements. Not only do they have to be Canadian, but they have to be willing to come to our community, visit our community, and speak at events. Now that's kind of difficult right now with virtual programs to actually come to a certain location. But in the past, some of my memories have included such things as a bus trip with Lawrence Hill as we traveled all of the Black history sites in the area, in our rural townships. I learned so much about Black history in our area, such as there is an island near Hawksville called Temperance Island, where picnics used to be held every year by the families of some of the Black settlers. So there's a lot of history that you learn.
I think it is a great program that they started. It builds excitement about books and reading in our community, and that's one of my favorite parts is almost the frenzy of excitement that it creates twice a year in the spring when the title is announced. Everyone's talking about it and placing holds, and then again in the fall as it gets closer to the author visit event. The frenzy builds again and holds are placed again, and it's kind of exciting when people have to wait a little bit to get that special book, and then it comes in and they come to pick up their hold and they're excited and it's my turn, and it's really fun that they have 2 points in the year for the program that excitement builds to, and that's been great.
Special memories. Terry Follis. I had the wonderful opportunity of having lunch with Terry Follis, who wrote The Best Laid Plans. Hilarious political satire. I highly recommend his books to anyone. And it was fascinating talking to him and hearing how he grew and learned from being a journalist to trying his hand at writing fiction, and did such a wonderful job. And he was so excited that people actually enjoyed reading his fiction work as opposed to his hardcore journalism. So those are some exciting memories. The 100-mile diet, again, a whole perspective when you have a chance to speak with the authors and actually meet them in person and hear them describe their personal struggles with having to give up coffee for a year because coffee is not grown within 100 miles of where they live, and trying to figure out what they could actually substitute for their morning coffee. Hint, they really didn't find anything that they liked. So you get that personal aspect as well when you have an opportunity to hear from the authors.
I think one of my favorite One Book, One Community moments happened just this summer. And I answered the phone here at the New Hamburg branch, and it was one of our regular longtime patrons. And she was so excited about this title, but she had a problem. She said that she had borrowed the book from a friend of hers and read it and loved it, but then was concerned that wasn't going to count as one of our circs. So we solved that problem, and she still placed a hold so that it could count as a library circ. But that was just a fun thing, that she loved this title so much that she wanted to let us know, even though she didn't need to borrow our copy to enjoy it.
It's such a successful community collaboration because these authors, as I said, do come to the community. So when we bring in an author such as Terry Follis, who does political writing, and he does a presentation in the gymnasium to all of the classes, there are some very keenly interested students in that audience, and they have the opportunity to ask a well-known published author, how do you get into writing? How do you get your works published? How do you get your ideas for this political satire and comedy that you write? And so it gives the younger generation a whole introduction to becoming authors, to journalism, to Canadian literature in a way that is not available anywhere else.
I think over the 20 years that the One Book, One Community program has run, they've really built a really excellent reading list that anyone can refer to. There's a good range. There's nonfiction, lots of fiction, historical fiction, science fiction. There's been a mystery. There's been memoirs. It's created a really great list. And just looking back over the list again, I've read them all and loved lots. Finished all of them, didn't love all of them, and that's okay. But it's just created a really great reading list with a lot of depth that I think everyone should have a look at.
With the one title that we all read and sharing into that similar event and those similar thoughts and having community-wide discussions, we find that it gives us a greater tie not only to each other and to our communities, but also a greater tie to Canada, because every one of these books brings to our forefront a deeper knowledge of some part of understanding Canada and this country and basically that shared experience. So whether it's Lakeland talking about all of our wonderful lakes in the area, or even Station 11, that bit of dystopian sci-fi that talked about how would we handle a worldwide pandemic. A bit prophetic there because here we are in the midst of one. Things are set in Canada and brings a greater understanding to where we live and what we go through. That is what is so important to me and special about One Book, One Community.
I hope that the One Book, One Community program can last for many more years, more than another 20.
If you'd like to pick up your copy of Extraordinary Canadians by Peter Mansbridge, visit your local library or download your copy today.